What's up, everyone? My name is Sal Cincotta, and welcome to another episode of 2-Minute Critiques. Now, if this is your first time watching, this is not just about shredding images for the sake of shredding it. It's all about getting better, and so learning, of course, from the mistakes of others. So kudos to everyone who submitted. If you do want to submit your image and you're feeling brave enough, I'm going to drop the link in here so you could submit your images for a possible 2-minute critique. But let's stop talking. Let's get into it. Hit me with that timer. All right, first image up. So this looks like a beautiful kind of family portrait here. Nothing wrong with it. I like it. But how do we make it better? And so it's very, very off balance. And so even to the untrained eye, what you should be catching here is, check this out, right? So you've got this kind of bridge or structure or frame up on the left-hand side, but check this area out on the right. It's just empty. And if I hide this for you for a second, and now you look at that image, you'll really start seeing what I'm saying there. This whole part of the image is just a void. And so it's really, really distracting by having that void. Imagine now I know what you're thinking. Well, there was no bridge there. You don't understand, Sal. I don't have to understand. This change your perspective, move around. But let's look at some other things that could be better in the image. A couple of things here. We are missing a hand. I don't know, it's just something about hands missing that starts distracting from the image, right? So have her take her hand out of her pocket. I don't care if it's cold out or whatever the case may be, right? Same thing here. We're missing another hand. I know it's tucked in, it's cute, but if you're trying to make a portrait, the details matter. These are the things we've got to focus on. And so we're struggling with connection because we don't see it. And then here, this is killing me, man. She's just being swallowed whole by this, the fur collar. So these are things that we can adjust and perfect, right? Hair is a little messy in here. Again, fix that. Don't tell your client, just go sit there. You are the one trying to create art for your client. And so something else that's driving me nuts here, 25 seconds, got to go. The timer's on. They're going to hold me to it this week. Head is going this way, and this head this way. And so this bothers me when I see heads going this way. We create this, look at it. You start looking at portraits, you'll see this in the future. You start creating this V here that creates separation. I want to see heads coming into each other, tilting in towards each other, even if they don't touch. All right, that's it. We can make that image better. Don't make these same mistakes. Timer's going off. They're going to start yelling at me. Next image, hit the timer. Let's go. I don't know. Is my timer keeping up? All right, timer's on. So here's, kind of a dance image. Let's just look at it overall, right? So your eye is always going to go to the brightest part, and we can see the brightest part of this image, unfortunately, is over here. Let's make this brush a little bit larger. The brightest part of the image, unfortunately, is here. So it's a great picture of a backdrop if that's what you were going for, right? So we want to either dodge and burn this down, right? So you can easily burn that part of the image down and get us here, right? Because clearly this is where the action's at. That's our subject. That's the person we want popping off the background. And so you can see this kind of just very, it's very difficult to get to my subject because I really just want to keep being here. I hope you guys are seeing that as you're looking at it. And then light fall off is a mess in this image. And so what am I saying by light fall off? If you notice, lighting is clearly in this area. And so we're going from a brightness level down to just bad shadow down here, right? It's just very distracting down in that area. And so this makes it a little bit more difficult, right, to really get to our subject. So what I would do in this image, this is a light control problem. So for this kind of image, I would feather that light away from the backdrop. That's going to pull some of that brightness off it. And then notice also, as we're looking at this, I got one foot, but because it's so dark down here, I don't even see the second foot down at the bottom, right? So this is a light control issue. And then, of course, we're just kind of missing this arm over here. So we just see that one arm, right? So twist her a little bit, adjust your light, slow down, focus on the details, and you can make your images better. So let's get to the next image here. All right. So what's that? I'm early. Did I finish early? That's good to know. It is possible that I can stay ahead of the timer. Okay, hit that timer. Let's do it. All right, so this is seemingly a beautiful image, right? I love it. I love the way we are shaping the image with the tree branches here. So we'll just make this brush a little bit slower, right? So we've got these tree branches framing, But here's a couple of things that are happening with the frame up. The top of this image becomes almost useless, right? Because my eye can't make it down past these tree branches, right? So what's the purpose? We're kind of breaking the image into two. Once again, very distracting in doing that. So a simple fix on this could be, just cropping down into this and up into this and making this more of a panel, right? So now, right, if we turn that off, that becomes a little bit better of a frame up. We still have some distraction up in this area. I'm gonna add another layer here. We still have some distraction up in this area, but it's a lot less than it was before, right? So we're getting to the subject. Also, we have got light control problems galore. So let's undo the crop here. If we hide this layer, right, we look here. Look at all this light spill down in this area. I shouldn't have that spill, right? So this is a pure light control problem. And the way around that, it's whoever your assistant is, smack them in the head. If you got your light on a stand, that's your fault as the photographer. But if it's an assistant, it's a simple thing. Feather that light, tilt that light back. Because if you're firing that light straight down at an angle, you're lighting up all that sand on the beach, and it just doesn't look natural for that. So just feather that light back, tilt that light back, and let the rest of it naturally fall off, and you'll have a much more pleasing image. How'd I do? 10 seconds. Look at me. I'm on fire today. All right, let's jump to the next image. Okay, so don't start that timer yet. Don't get trigger happy. It's not good when you have a trigger happy timer assistant person with their finger. All right, so let's get this going. Let's add here. Start the timer. Hit me. I'm ready now. I'm ready. That's all there is to it. Let's giddy up. Okay, so beautiful image, a boudoir image, but again, how can we make it better? And so in the spirit of making things better, a huge, just a rule, if you will, and I don't know if it's a formal rule, like the police come and get you kind of rule, but as a photographer, the rule I like to follow is don't cut at a joint. And so what we're doing here, you can see we are cutting right at her knee, right? And so it just makes her look like an amputee. It's just either give it a little more breathing room, crop in a little bit more, but don't do it right at the joint. So that's number one, okay? Now, some other things here. This is just sloppiness, if you ask me. You see in the corner here on the headboard here, and I'm trying to see it here. There's just a little bit of gray area kind of up in there, and that's due to the curvature of your lens. So if I had to guess, this could be a 50 or 35 millimeter lens because of the skew. I could be wrong, but the bottom line is I'm seeing some of that gray, and the headboard is kind of skewing away. I don't want that, right? So I can fix that in post. It's an easy enough fix because in Lightroom, believe it or not, look this up, you can actually apply a lens profile that will naturally adjust the skew that's created by the lens. Or you can just fix that in post-production. It's just sloppy. Fix that one piece. But here's, I got 30 seconds. So now as we talk about this, first of all, love the look from your subject to camera. Big doe eyes, love that. But where I am getting stuck is right here. Sorry, right here in her chest. I'm getting stuck there, right? So she's got tattoos underneath her chin. Her eyes, she has face makeup on. But this one particular area, because of the way she's posed, it's all white and it's bright. So we can do a couple of things here. That's my timer, but I'm going to finish this thought. We can do some things here. We can burn that down. We could change the pose a little, bring her chest together a little, but it would change the pose. I love that pose, but we got to do something because I'm being distracted by her knee and leg. And if we look at this one last thing before we wrap this up, look at the color of her arm here, right? Let me get rid of that. Look at the color of her arm and hand here. Look at the color and brightness, the tonal range of this area. Look at the tonal range of her chest here. Look at the tonal range of her thigh here. And look at the tonal range of this part of her leg. It's all over the place, right? There's a lighting issue. And look, we all make those mistakes. How do you fix it? At least fix it in post-production with some dodge and burn work, okay? That's it, this week's 2-week critique. Again, if you're feeling up to the challenge, submit your images. Congratulations to everybody who was brave enough to submit. Hope you love it. If you love our channel, subscribe, click the like button, give us a shout out, let us know what you thought about this video. We'll see you next week.